pre Rotherham away. Neil, has it been good to have a full week between games? Because obviously you're playing a run of Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely. We've been able to regroup, rest a couple of tired bodies, and to be able to do it on the back of a good win last week. It was good timing.
And the gaffer said to us before, and it might be a grind against Burton. It certainly was. 86th minute of the goal. So I suppose everything that you said the game would be, it was, and you just proved right, and the lads delivered in the end.
Yeah, I mean, both teams had two tough games the week before. We'd been down to Gillingham, league leaders, and did very well, and they'd been down to Plymouth, on a Wednesday night, 24 hours later. So there's perhaps an argument for two tired teams, but it certainly didn't look like that against Burton. I thought we were excellent. I thought from the first minute we were doing all the pressing, all the probing and pushing, and couldn't quite break them down. But we knew at half time, we said just keep doing more of the same, and eventually we'll get a goal, and that proved to happen.
And that must give even more confidence and belief, and I'm sure it was pretty high anyway, as you go to Rotherham for another tough-looking away trip this week. Absolutely,
yeah. We've got a tough month, and we've had two games where we've got 4 points that we're really pleased with. But yeah, Rotherham away, it's as hard as they come.
And they lost 5-0 at Dagenham and Redbridge. Steve Evans said it was the worst performance he'd seen as a manager of one of his sides. Is it a good time or a bad time to be playing them?
It's always a difficult game when they've got a new stadium. They want to get promoted this season. They're a big club in our league, and they've got a lot of backing behind them and good support and money behind them, and they've got a manager who's shown he's had success when he's had money at clubs in the past. So it's they've got a good home record. They got a bad result the other week at Port Vale, and they've had another bad result against Dagenham, but the record at home this season is different to the away form, and it's going to be tough, that's for sure.
Because of Steve Evans moving from Crawley, is it more like going to Crawley, or are they still sort of got what they had as Rotherham originally?
I think you just have a certain style as a manager, and I think Steve likes getting good players in who have good physical qualities and talented as well, and he did that at Crawley really well, and he's trying to do it at Rotherham at the moment.
There was the spat between him and Mark last season. Mark came out and said afterwards he is incessant, and I'm sure he is. Has that all blown over? Have they sort of carried on talking, because they were communicating quite a bit beforehand, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we've come up across Steve Evans a few times over the years in the conference, and he's that kind of character. You do have arguments with him, and it's away from the pitch side, you can have a decent conversation with him. So I'm sure there's no issues our end. Hopefully there's none Steve's end, and whatever happened last season won't happen again.
And you showed away at Gillingham, you're not distracted when the opposition's got a manager who the fans will certainly focus on, and you can still focus on doing your job.
It's all about being professional, and any sort of so-called distractions, or you just got to keep focused and get on with your job. And some people, I'm not saying Steve Evans does, but some people can try and take your focus away from where you want to be directing it. But you've got to rise above anything that may or may not happen, and just stay as professional as you can.
Scott Brown in the team of the week. The manager's up for manager of the month. Does that just sort of, I suppose, show a little bit of reward for the good work that everyone's putting in here at the moment?
Yeah, I think if the season as a whole, you can, over the games we've played, you can pick certain people out at certain times, and Scott Brown's on a good run of clean sheets. I think he's having an excellent season, and every credit to the gaff as well, being shortlisted for a Manager of the Month award. It's great news for the club.
I suppose it helps when you've got so many players fit and available. How is the squad this week, injury-wise?
Yeah, we're okay. I think obviously Lawson's not going to be fit. We need to speak to Redding, regarding his situation, to see whether when he'll be fit, whether his loan will run out, whether we'll be able to keep him. So that's something that we'll need to keep our eye on. Harry Human returned from a loan spell at Bath with a slight groin problem, so he won't be available either. But apart from those two, Wesley's doing a great job.
And to have so many players who people would consider first choices, it just must make it an easier job, because obviously if you need to go horses for courses, you can do.
Yeah, we've got a small squad, but we've got within that, you know, those small numbers, we've got some talent, we've got some good players, and whoever the gaffer decides to pick on Saturday, you know, I'll be backing him, and you know, whichever team we can put out with from those players, you know, we'll be more than happy.
Chris Zabrowski got the goal against Burton. How important is he, just the work that he can do at the front end of the team, particularly in away games?
Yeah, I said to John at the start of the week, I think we defended really well second half against Gillingham and really had to dig in. But it does start with Chris and Jermaine and Mo. You know, people see the goals that they may score and the tricks and the skills they have. But first and foremost, they put a shift in, and you know, Mo and Jermaine do, but Chris Zabrowski does as well.
Good man, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Neil, have you been up to the new ground yet and had a look around?
I've not seen it. The gaffer's been up, I think, twice now. He's managed to watch them play, and he's been really impressed. And with Rotherham, then Chesterfield, which is another great stadium. You know, it's two good places to go and play football at.
Yeah, the Don Valley was quite a strange atmosphere. It wasn't everyone on one side and very open and sort of quite a long way from the pitch, but it'd be quite different on Saturday, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think in this country we don't particularly like having a track round the outside of the pitch, you know, and the fans being too far away, and that's probably something Rotherham may struggle with over the last couple of seasons, but they've certainly got a good base now that by all accounts is fantastic, and they're making it into their own little fortress.
Yeah, what would be your ideal slightly late birthday present this weekend?
I think, you know, John, it'd be great to go up there, first and foremost not lose, play well, and if we've got a good team, and if we play well, I think we'd win more games than we'd lose. Yeah,
you put yourself in such a good position at this stage. I think you're on the same points as you were this time last year. Rotherham away followed by Chesterfield away is a really tough test, isn't it? But the way your away results have been going this season, you're probably confident of getting anything, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've only lost at Bradford away, which, you know, I'm still angry about. It could have been so different. Should have been 2-0 up going into half time, but that's gone now. I think earlier in the season we perhaps weren't playing as well as we were last year, but I think the last few weeks we've just found our stride now, and we look strong, and you know, we do look a good team at times.
Yeah, with the 8 in the Gillingham game, you sort of looked at them as a pair on it, and obviously left a couple out for the 8 games just to make sure everyone was fresh. But you can't really do that going to Rotherham, can you? So, but are you still approaching them as a pair of games, or are you not really looking at Chesterfield yet?
I mean, you always have long games and look at the month as a whole, and then, you know, over the few weeks. But yeah, our focus is certainly on Rotherham at the moment, and as you say, we were able to rest a couple of players who needed resting. You know, a couple of people had a couple of niggles, and if they played against Yates, it perhaps, you know, would have made them miss the next few weeks. So we've been able to manage them quite well, and then on the back of beating Burton and having a free week this week, you know, we've been able to rest a couple of tired bodies. So everyone's fit and available, ready to go for Rotherham, and we'll assess for Chesterfield after the game.
Yeah, you said you're going to speak to Reading about Lawson. Do you think, you know, do you want him back? Do you and the manager want to bring him back for another loan spell if he can, when he's fit?
He did really well in the short time he was here. He was a lovely lad. I don't know when he's going to be fit yet. That's, as I say, that's something we'll have to speak to Reading about.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, Neil.